it's gonna appear on the skin. And then if probably something is wrong with your liver, really it's going to be the skin that is going to help us. So I'm going to give you outline. We're going to look at definition of terms, and we're going to look at a bit of the skin structure and function and the healthy practices of the skin. And in the second presentation, which is coming our way on Thursday, we will settle down and discuss on the pathologies of the skin, diseases of the integumentary system, if you please. And this might not be in the first slide, but I will define terms here for us. I know we have prayed, so we have the unction of the Spirit to move on, but you could be writing down somewhere the integumentary system. Integumentary system. It's a membrane that covers the body like an envelope. And this is going to include one of about 5 things. So, a membrane that envelops or covers the body. And we also include, in addition to the external covering, the epidermis, the dermis, and the endodermis. The word dermis, D-E-R-M-I-S, is basically a scientific term for, or a medical term for the skin. Epi means superficially, above. Endo means the second layer. I mean the innermost layer. Epidermis, the dermis, the endodermis. And all the derivatives, all other things associated with the first layer, the middle layer, and the deepermost layer of our skin. Remember, our skin is some length thick. So why do we talk about integumentary system, somebody? It is not only the skin which we can superficially relate. We're also talking about the derivatives of this dermis, epidermis, and the dermis, which are the hairs, the nails, the sweat glands. It's called sudoriferous sweat, or the sebaceous glands, the glands that, give your skin the supple nature. The fact that your skin has some oil only tells us that there are glands in there, little pockets of endocrine system, or the system of production of glands in the body. And in this case, it's the sebaceous glands are responsible for producing the oil that keeps your skin lubricated and not to dry out. You understand? And did you know that the mammary glands, as well as the subcutaneous tissue, are also part of the integumentary system? So when you talk about the skin, remember we're talking about sweat glands, sebaceous glands that secretes oils that are able to maintain the supple nature of our skin. We're also talking about the mammary glands, the ones for the breast, you understand, as well as the subcutaneous tissue. The skin, is basically a protective membrane that covers the body, and it's the skin that we know comprises of the epidermis, the middle layer dermis, and the deepermost layer, the endodermis. We're going to see another set of slides with our students at the end of this lecture, which basically is outlining what I'm talking about. So Denzel, what's our first slide here? On the screen, we got skin blemishes as part of the problem. Give me the first slide back. And we're going to look at also how to treat the skin problems and how to maintain a natural beauty. So before we get there, Denzel, I'm finishing up with the structure of the skin for us to appreciate how the skin is working. And I promise we're going to share these slides later. I'm going to look at what are the basic structures of the skin. Again, feel free to ask questions. Feel free to ask questions in these classes. We don't want to get complaints later when we are given time to ask question. So epidermis, A-P-I-D-E-R-M-I-S. You can write that down. Epidermis. We've said epidermis, dermis, and endodermis are the components of our skin, which is a part of the integumentary system. So epidermis. Oh, you already talked about anatomy and physiology. Beautiful. That's so good. Just a reminder then, epidermis, endodermis, and the endodermis. Epidermis contains keratinocytes and the melanocytes and the Langerhans cells, which house the bone marrow. And then we have the Merkel cells, the ones that give us the sensitivity, the sensitive touch of our skin. That was beautiful. And so my take here is that we already acquainted with those three layers of the skin. The other reminder that I want to give is we have layers, of the skin, and we have 4 layers of the skin: stratum lucidum. You don't have to remember these names. Just know the skin has 4 layers: stratum lucidum, granulosum, stratum epispinosum, and stratum basale. Stratum basale. And those who have thick skin have about 5 of these: spinosum, corneum, lucidum, basale. And another reminder is the function of the skin, the functions of the skin. Here's the functions of the skin that you want to make sure that are at your fingertip. Because if there's a problem with the functions, there's definitely going to be disease. What are the functions of the skin before I can mention or name some of the problems associated with the integumentary system? It forms the external covering of the body, so it offers mechanical protection to the inner layers of the body, protects deeper tissues from injury, helps in the manufacturing of vitamin D. Vitamin D is an invaluable vitamin that influences our hormones. It's an hormone in itself. It's good for the bones and the skeletal muscular structure of the human body. Did you know the skin helps to maintain fluid balance through sweating? That's why we got sweat glands in there. It stores energy. Why? Because there are cells that contain fats with one word: adipose tissue. Facial expression. So the skin also helps to communicate. The skin houses the site for pain and pressure because it houses the receptors. Removal of waste through sweat, temperature regulation, protects entry of disease-causing microorganisms, otherwise known to us as pathogens. And of course, when we look at your skin and we see a yellowish discoloration, a bluish discoloration, an erythema, which is basically a redness, then the skin is a good site for indicating whether we got good health or poor health. So, what are some of the diseases associated with the skin? What can we anticipate as sicknesses of the integumentary system? We know that we could be having a lot. You could have bruises, which are called contusions. You could have easy bruising. You can get a bruise, ecchymosis. There are cuts, there are scrapings, there are wounds as part of the problems of the skin. There is what is called intertrigo. It's where the skin is erupting and then it's causing 2 surfaces to rub together, especially between the groin, the breasts, the underarms, and the inner thighs. Women that are bigger in shape knows that these are some of the problems they need addressed. Inflammation of the skin, that can be a problem. We call that swelling. And there can be scarring. You understand? Scarring is also an issue. And this is not even all. So at this point, I would want Brother Denzel to give us the slide so we can start these up together. Skin problems do not start there. They internally originate. You gotta have to understand that the skin is basically a medium that gives you a lot of information about what's going on in there. If you have spotted skin or blemished skin, you have a problem either in your stomach, in your liver, or in your bowels, in your gut. You can change your skin if you have a bad skin. We call that poor skin. And did you know that there are on our skin growth hormones that helps to rebuild the layers that we mentioned? So you can rebuild the skin, and it takes around 1 month to 1.5 months for the basal layer, the stratum basale, the cells thereof, to move to the upper surface, and then they get to the stratum corneum layer, the conified layer, which is the skin that is most perceptible. When you make changes in your lifestyle, you begin to realize the benefits of skincare in just about a couple of months, and I'll tell you how. Give me the next slide real quick. So, when you consider treatments of the aesthetic value, the cosmetic treatments, the treatments for the skin, whether it's skin care, facelift, this is staggering. You shed at least a layer of a skin a day. You know, this does not mean you got eczema. This happens involuntarily. Why? Because the keratin cells easily break off. So what this tells us is, nikifanya makeup ndio nionekane vizuri. Your makeup, however much I carefully use it to improve the aesthetic, the appearance of my complexion in the skin, I let it shangwe. It's like I'm doing useless. So that's cosmetic dictionary definition, which we need to work with, is decorative or superficial rather than functional. You have to remember that makeup was only used in the West for dead bodies, and that's what still is largely the application of makeup. So when you make up, it doesn't change anything. Give me the next slide. We need to work with the idea of nourishing the skin from within than from without. That means there are nutrients which benefit the skin. And there is absolutely nothing wrong about natural skin cleansers. I mean, periodically, there are people that uses activated charcoal or bentonite clay or facial masks. But we should bear in mind that the state of the skin, as with most other parts of the body, is dictated by the purity levels in your blood. In other words, when you need a good, healthy, flawless skin, you need a good, healthy blood to make it a glow. So dress it from the cause, from within. And then the reflection on the outside will be appealing. Let's go now. So this guy says, I mentioned you that we thermoregulate the temperatures of the body in conjunction with the thyroid using the skin. I mean, how do you get to know that it's cold? You feel it in the skin, and then you'd see goosebumps mushrooming from the skin surface. And when you know it's very hot, your skin will sweat and it will feel warm. So the temperature of the body is largely regulated by the skin. I mean, when babies have a lot of pyrexia or fever, when they're feverish, febrile, the most mothers would touch the skin of the temples, the skin on their head, and kusikia kuna joto jingi, unajua mtoto ako na fever, and then we begin to suspect and simulate what could be the cause of the elevation of the body temperature. The skin is very indicative for that matter. Let's go, brother. So that's important. There's what is called skin sensitivity. Those who have skin sensitivity, kuna watu ukiwachuna hivi mwili inafura, wakioga na maji fulani wameanza kujikuna. Huwa mara nyingi ni allergies ambazo zinajidhihirisha kwa damu. Wewe mtu mwenye ako na sensitive skin, mwambie asafishe damu. So the great cleanser for the skin is water. Pure water is what is important when you have, according to this slide, thirst. So other than depending on tea, coffee, and cold drinks, which are acidic, did you know that the pH of the face, for instance, the most sensitive part of our skin is the facial pH is under 7. It is slightly acidic. And that drinks, acidic drinks like tea, coffee, and cold drinks easily dampen the pH of the skin. Also coupled with these are certain soaps and creams, and those soaps and creams needed to be well enough within pHs of the range that maintains skin's acidity. So it's important that we nourish the system with water that has the right minerals, especially less and less acidic minerals. You don't have a lot of acidic minerals in your water because then we'll not be helping our skin. So do not drink coffee, tea, cocoa if you want to have a flawless skin. Let's go, Denzel. So we're told this is going to save you lots of money. But, you know, ladies spend a lot of money to look good. And today men are getting in the bandwagon. And then they want to look good without exercising, without relaxing, or without working in the garden. I told you that, did you know that the skin needs a lot of exercise and a lot of relaxing and a lot of just your skin needs to breathe well, because if your blood is intoxicated or is impure, 70% of the toxemia trapped in your body, to be specific, in your blood, can easily be thrown off through the skin. And that's by the means of hydrotherapy, which has been lined up as part of our lessons, where we're going to be learning over through this course. So when you exercise, that's very different. The amount of, when you exercise, right, and you're sweating, you're throwing off a sizable amount of toxins from your blood. And we're told that when you do a sweating process in hydrotherapy, that sweat, the caliber of the dirt you're throwing off, is essentially different and dynamic compared to the one that comes out when you're just sweating because it's a hot, sunny day. So they're saying your diet plays a role. The food should be unrefined, because when it's refined, it's going to be turned into fats in the body, stored in glycogen stores. Part of the glycogen stores are in the liver. And if the ones that are in the liver are full, they're going to be stored in your butt or in the breasts or in the upper limbs, where we have lots and lots of receptors, adipocytes, cells of the adipose tissue, which are literally sitting under our epidermis, within the dermis. And there we're storing lots and lots of dirty fat. This explains why ukitumia mafuta nyingi kama za mtura, kama za pork, unapata acne, na ukifinyilia unapata kuna mafuta. So we have to be very careful with the fats that we have in our food, from sugar, from hydrogenated oils or fats, and from chemicals that over-acidify the body. Instead, throw off these added sugars and preservatives and hydrogenated oils and go for the fresh fruits, the raw salads, the whole grains, the steamed vegetables, And on the vegetables, I could stress select from your green leafy vegetables because of the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll cleanses the blood and benefits the skin. And on top of that, I'd advise that ladies who want to look good on the skin and they want to have good hair and nails, they need minerals. Minerals come from green leafy vegetables a lot, easily. But you could always add in moringa, very rich in minerals. You could put in spirulina, sources of sea, sea minerals from chlorophyll, chlorella, spirulina. Denzel, let's go. Skin rubbing is a practice that has helped, especially under a hot bath. We call it, in a proper term in hydrotherapy, cold mitten friction. When you are causing friction with a towel dipped in cold water. And there is what is called loofahs, natural fabric for the body, just to brush the skin. Usioge na sabuni peke yake, chukua ka sponge which is soft na utakuwa una rub nayo mwili. If you go to a sauna, the sauna helps to scavenge for external and internal toxic matter that has been trapped within the fatty layers of the skin by dissolving those excess fats. And then this will promote sweating, what is called perspiration. I told us that the skin breathes, and it also depends on vitamin D from the sun and fresh air. And this is going to help rejuvenate and make our skin to glow. So do not just forget that your skin, never forget that your skin is only important to tell us about how you look. Remember, we need the skin, especially babies. Babies breathe much through their skin. Remember, we also need your skin to throw off toxins. So hiyo ita-inform ni mafuta gani unapaka. Ukipaka mafuta yenye iko na solid saturations, zinaziba the pores which breathe, help our system to breathe through the skin. Moisturizers are okay, but use moisturizers like aloe vera moisturizer, because aloe vera has some good material, a growth factor that triggers growth of new layers of the skin, and that's why it easily penetrates through the skin, leaving a cooling effect therewith. Yeah. So those are the pores of the skin, as you can see under microscopic view. And you can easily block them. And when you block them, you have blocked them from their functions. Let's move. Christian Temperance is a book written by Ellen White, and Bible Hygiene. She calls them little mouths of the skin through which the body uses to breathe can easily become clogged. That means blocked. That's right, Winnie. Honey moisturizers are good for the skin, especially the face, because honey also has growth factors in them. So God made our skins porous because he needed to throw off up to 70% of the toxic burden out of the system. And this is vicarious to other excretory organs. And if that's not happening promptly, then we're going to be witnessing diseases of the skin. Let's go, Denzel. Further, in Healthful Living, page 100, and I'm not sure if that's 134, 54, but the habit of shunning the air, so avoiding outdoor exercise, closes the pores, and breathing for the skin is made difficult or almost impossible. And then we cannot promptly throw off impurities through that channel. The burden of labor is thrown upon the liver, the lungs, the kidneys, etc. And these internal organs become overwhelmed in doing the work that otherwise the skin would have done just prompt to well. I mean, God gave us a vicarious excretory organ, and that's the skin. Let's go. So this is still from the testimony. Those who are not in health, yes, Putin.
Can I ask a question, Marimo?
Go ahead.
Are Vaseline, ng'ombe, are they not good for the skin?
Yeah, because they are called byproducts of organic compounds. They easily leave the skin at some point, but there are also protective elements in those organic compounds that are protective of the skin against insurgent infections, of the dermis, or I would say external infections. You have to remember that hiyo mafuta unauliza ya ng'ombe ama ya Vaseline, they are called petroleum jelly. Hiyo petrol ilitokana na mwili ya wanadamu na wanyama, which has the ability to rot. That means the ability to disintegrate. And if you have a severe form of skin disease, like gangrene, did you know that used oil, petrol, ama ya DSL, is the quickest remedy against it? Why would you think so? Because remember, these were the bodies of dead matter from the days when, deep down in sacred history, when there was massive flood of the whole world and dead matter from plants and animals were buried underneath, but they are decaying, and that's why they have a protective effect and property on the human skin. So they are okay. They're okay.
Thank you.
So we told those who are not in good health have impurities in the blood, and as a result, as a consequence, the skin is not in the best of conditions. Multitude of pores or little mouth through which the body breathes becomes clogged and is filled with waste matter. The skin needs to be carefully and thoroughly cleansed, and that's why we want you to vaporize. We want you to steam your skin to open those pores, that the pores may do their work in freeing the body from impurities. Therefore, feeble persons who are deceased surely need the advantages and blessings of bathing. Kuna wale hawaogi. Usipooga hata akili itakwama kwa sababu utakuwa una overwhelm mwili na uchafu. Let's go. So we're told that the all-important question that those with bad skin will ask themselves is not how can my bad skin look like good skin, but rather, if you reframe the question, then they would have to dispense with that and ask, what am I doing or failing to do rightly that is causing me to have bad skin? Then instead of engaging in a lifelong battle to mask blemishes and spots and what have you, the wise will seek to eliminate the cause of their blemishes and spots by substituting better habits for the bad habits in their lifestyle and diet. In fact, drinking just the protocol juice for 21 days changes your skin completely, the skin texture, the glow, and what have you. So feed the skin with the right things. When you're healthy, it will show. If your diet is out of order, equally, the blemishes will appear and you will be too much oily or unusually dry. If you have digestive problems, your complexion becomes sluggish and muddy. Your skin is sallow. That's the right word, S-A-L-L-O-W, sallow skin. So one of the things we look at when we house patients at the sanitarium is the color of the skin. Then that way we're able to know. And thank God vegetarianism gives you good skin texture. Let's go. Yeah, I told you the skin is the largest organ with multiple roles. But we're told that when your big colon, your big intestine, the colon, and probably your liver and the kidneys are working with minimal function, so they are dysfunctional to certain degrees, then that means we overaccumulate wastes. And the skin begins to reabsorb the wastes and precipitates acne, pimples, spots, like blemishes like blacks, whiteheads, or dark heads. This is only the result of accumulated toxic waste that needed to have gotten either out of the body through the skin, the liver, the kidneys, or the colon. Poisons, for example, cannot be thrown off the skin when the skin is dry and inactive, because those millions of little mouths of the skin, when they breathe, they definitely, through certain reflexes, eliminate poisons. So it's important. When you've done some strenuous exercise, you sweat, when you pass your finger, you rub gently over your skin, you feel there is certain level of roughness and stickiness. That means the substantial amount of waste is elevated to your skin, and when you take a bath, you wash off and you eliminate excellently the toxins that were elevated to be thrown off. And when you use Epsom salt, the magnesium heptahydrate, it stimulates the skin pores and it opens them up. Warm water also does the same. So that's what you want. Let's go. So what leads to poor skin? What is poor skin? Blocked pores, poor complexion, excessively oily or excessively dry skin, or spots that are not of the original complexion of the body. And somehow is the texture, whether it's rough or soft, you know that's poor skin. Or it is easily bruised, you know that skin doesn't have new layers. And so what happens is it definitely does not become supple. Sometimes you have dysfunctional sebaceous glands. So what is happening in the body causes the skin to appear wrinkled, blemished, or spotted, or you witness broken cell walls or cell membranes, and nutrient deficiency. And that could easily mean or assert high level nutrients used for the skin, like calcium, magnesium, we have selenium, we have there's one I'm forgetting here, collagen. Poor stem cell state. Stem cells are mother bone marrow cells that produce other cells for circulation. And then poor waste management. Let's go. Excessive sun produces wrinkles. Avoid overexposure and through sunburns. Smoking nicotine found in tobacco, it thins your blood vessels. And wrinkles. Makeup, it should be only put on a dead body because it's meant to block the skin and change the color and the appearance with no breathing whatsoever. Thinking negative thoughts. Anguish or stress hinders blood flow. And then when you don't encourage blood flow, the skin begins to be drying up. Poor hygiene harbors bacterial infection, logs up your pores. Fats, milk, sugar, sweet pastries, makeups, the mother of all acnes, metabolic effect of milk protein, and closed pores. Did you know that one of the herbs, as we come to Mugo, Murithi, who has raised a hand, did you know that when we need to open up the skin against acne and pimples, we give lymphatic cleanses? Like on top of the list is echinacea, then we got blue violet, and we got golden seal. What is the matter, Mugo, Murithi?
Oh, so my question is, could you explain again how smoking, or what could you specify what are you smoking? Is it cigarettes? Is it marijuana? What affects the skin so far?
I suppose, my brother, that nicotine, which is a vasoconstrictor, that means it makes your blood cells to thin, not to expand. I mean, in user language that you'd understand. And so when you smoke, especially nicotine-laden tobacco, that's going to happen. But any form of smoking also means that you are causing your skins to suffer, because you're reducing or you're depleting the oxygen receptor sites in the body. And when that happens, the cell is closed up. When the cell is closed up, it's not going to basically, it's not going to, somebody's trying to call me. I'm having a class. Let me just text them through my phone. Facilitating a class right now. Facilitating a class. I'm not sure why. Okay. Facilitating a class right now. Yeah, so what I was saying is, when you lessen oxygen, that means you're frustrating the cell in eliminating. And when the cells don't eliminate, it means you're going to basically recycle the dirt that you'd have gotten out of the body, out of the cells. Yeah, so smoking and then smoke is sooty. That means the smoke has the ability to make dirty your blood. It will cause aggregation of platelets. And when your platelets are aggregated or are clogged, blood will be thick, and then it can't flow properly. And then what is going to happen? We are going to undernourish the skin. You understand? By the virtue of the fact that blood has been made thicker. That is the very effect that we anticipate when we are high in processed sugar and acidic beverages and chemicals. Let's go, Danza. You can change your skin if you have poor skin within 30 to 45 days. We have already initiated the moving up to the epidermis, the basal layer of our skin. So make those changes, and in a couple of months, you'll save your relationship. Let's go. So the body here is nourished through good nutrition. And that is exactly what the internal organs need, which will make the skin scream some nice little evidences of what you're doing, whether it's good or you're evil, or your activities are evil. So if your liver especially is well and your blood, your skin is going to be all right. I promise you so. Denza? Yeah, this is important now. What are the foods, as well as the supplements, that have the effect of building up the skin? Building and rebuilding. Let's go. Those are fruits. And so apricots maintain and improve youthful look to the skin and regenerate fluid throughout the body. Dried apricots, organic in nature, enable the cells in your body to hold proper amount of moisture to maintain normal cellular function. Apricots. So we don't have apricots in Africa, but when you eat avocados, you get almost the same effect. You know that avocados are good for the skin, right? Let's go. All nuts in the raw form have unique amounts of essential fatty acids which are stored under the skin. So omega-3 and omega-6 are the kind of essential fatty acids that you're going to need from the nuts to maintain our skin. Almond oil is one of the leading, almond oil and black walnut. Fruits are the cherry and the berry, strawberry, blueberries, raspberry. All berries helps with the skin, slows down aging, and prevents skin damage. So these fruits are in Kenya, by the way. I just thought you should know. And probably you only complain that they're expensive. Juicing, especially vegetable juices and fruit juices, are the leading quick skin regeneratives that have been ignored. You want to engineer these things, and you have that rainbow cloud. Look at all those colors: purple, orange, green, red vegetables and fruits are exactly what you need to look like a queen or a king. Mr. Handsome or Mrs. Beauty, let's go ahead now. Your skin. Vitamin E. Vitamin E is one of the most potent antioxidants that you can apply externally. What you need to know about vitamin E is that, I'm coming to you, Mugo. Vitamin E is fat soluble and will easily slide in through your skin to the cells. And vitamin E, like I said, it has the opposite effect of smoke, because it negates oxidative stress, which depletes oxygen binding sites in the cells of the skin. So where does vitamin E come from? Coconut oil, red palm oil, sunflower oil, safflower, corn oil, soy. This is why you can apply coconut oil and it's the best for the skin. Or you use shea butter, vitamin E, the way to go. It's called alpha tocopherol. Frankincense oil reduces wrinkles, viral warts on 3 times day application removes the warts. I hope you know what warts are. Dark spots on the skin because of sunburns. When you apply direct without deleting it, and it helps to repair stretch marks and promotes new cell growth. Frankincense, so that's an essential oil. Don't abuse it. It's so powerful. You want to apply it with a vehicle like olive oil to reduce any inadvertent excessive effects of the frankincense. Let's go. Frankincense. So this kind of oils have omega-3, coconut, and then silica. Silica is what I was forgetting as a very important mineral, or trace mineral for that matter, that would benefit our skin. So you want to also make sure that you're feeding rightly, and most importantly, the good dietary amounts of your nuts and whatever foods you have to give you omega-3. But apples, raisins, cucumbers, and strawberries are the ways to go in Mother's diet. Yeah. So what is a detox? Detox is removal of toxins from off the skin, off the colon, off the cells, off the blood. So this is where you need the detox. The liver is important they're called liver spots. It's showing on the skin that you have blemishes. Work on the liver, work on the stomach, work on the bowels. So activating the lymph, and the lymphatic vessel, make sure that we are filtering out the oils, and therefore the toxins are going to go, preventing the recycling or recirculating these toxins in your blood, and thus we improve oxygen delivery into even the cells of the skin, and then you are rebuilding a clean, healthy skin that doesn't have to slide into your immune cell. Because if the lymphatic flow has been impeded, the other element that suffers is the immune system. And so remove wastes even to protect your system from lymphatic infections and immune issues. Mugo, you had a question then. Somebody here has asked a question again. Let's begin Let's come to Mugo.
So my question was based on what you were telling us about the foods that supplement the skin. So I was asking, is taking like fruit juice at night, does it affect your health, or you're just good to go with whatever it is that your body accepts?
Are you asking whether it's right to drink fruit juice at night?
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, so
it's okay.
It's okay, drink it at night, we don't mind. But we also want you to eat the fruit in entirety.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh,
So such a oil, Alice, such a oil, thank you, Mugo. Such a oil is an oil extracted from such a plant, which is in the South America, Amazon region. It's rich in omega-3, 6, 9, as well as in vitamin E and a host of other antioxidants. When you use the cold pressed version, you have, but don't worry about such a oil. When you got olive oil or almond oil or walnut oil, omega-3 from walnut, then you're going to get all that such a oil would give you. I hope that is a bit of help. So activate the lymphatic flow if you want to have a good skin, Dancer. So to do a detox, to dissolve, dislodge, and remove toxic poisons out of the system, it's a long journey, really. You pull them off all the way from your fatty cells in the muscular system and in the adipose tissue, and then within 48 hours, they undergo certain transformation to water-soluble status, and then they're dissolved as wastes through your urinary tract system. So if you have a skin disease, do this detox, like carbuncles, little boils, and furuncles. Detoxing the kidneys, the liver, the colon between the duration of 8 to 10 days through citrus juice has been found to be very beneficial, about 3 times a day. That is an equivalent of 3 to 4 glasses of orange. Or there's a tea here we've mentioned, it's called Sanical tea. But citruses are good. Who assumes, like me, that it's the antioxidant nature of citruses that helps the body to get rid of the toxin? So other than the citruses, like orange juices, rectal enema with a herb to void off the colon, like an active herb, one of those is white oakbark. Every evening for 8 to 10 days brings good results beyond all expectation. So enema with white oakbark, you are cleansing, detoxing the skin. Citrus juice every day for 8 to 10 days, 3 times a day, you are detoxing the skin. Or colon cleansers, you're detoxing the skin. That detox is absolutely necessary. Let's go. So bruises. Let's go. Let's go. Let's ignore that for now. When you bruise your skin gently, you're effectively cleansing the lymphatic system and stimulating it. But the blood is also stimulated. In other words, the blood is moved. Remember, I told you there are herbs that are lymphatic tonics: echinacea, blue violet, cayenne pepper, golden seal, lemon juice. Those are so important, so very important. So when you stimulate the bloodstream and the lymphatic circulation, you have a refreshing effect. Brings about energy. And we're told that this is less than 5 minutes. Then after which you have done some bruising, like using with a brush, then you get under some running water. Nylon or animal bristles will be too rough and will damage the skin, so don't use nylon. You know, the best way to do this in Africa is oga tu na nini ya Manila. Kata tu gunia. Uoshe vizuri uende uoge nayo. Itakuwa inakusaidia. Do not touch the face. Make bold movements, passing only once over every part of the body in a sweeping motion. So this is African simply taking bath. Na hizi uzi zetu za kawaida. Ladies, your attention is drawn here. Do you know what's a cellulite? It's a toxic material accumulated in your body fat cells, maybe from your makeup or from the things that ladies do. So there are things that are called liposuction procedures. They're not so good. You're trying to suck fat through the skin to break unwanted toxin. They say vicariously you can do body brushing, removes dead keratinized cells, initiates growth of new layers, and your skin is smoother and brighter. It can also help with pesky ingrown hairs. For the ladies, it's going to assist in improving the vascular circulation of blood and to drain the lymphatic system. That way, we shall have gotten rid of the toxins and encourages the body to metabolically remove wastes, which means the burning of the production of energy at the cellular level. And then you can do dry brushing of the skin. And that way you'll be targeting the nerves to make them more sensitive. And we're told that the tones of the muscle response, the reflex of contraction and relaxation at your muscle level, even for sportsmen, it gives a more even distribution of fat deposits. And therefore, dry skin brushing helps your skin to absorb nutrients by eliminating clogged pores. Yeah. Denzel. So I believe we're going to have those are the lymphatic spots in the body. And so dry brushing is something that you can do. It's basically working on the lymphatic system. Kusugua mwili bila maji. Wini. Kosawa hiyo. Let's go, Denzel. So, Waafrika wanatumia mawe, brushing the soles of your feet. In fact, that is so good for the lymphatic system, for your spleen. And it is what you want. Sugua mguu na mawe, utakuwa una benefit skin kwa sababu kuna reflexes under your skin, under the sole of your feet, that would activate all the way to every lymph node in the body. They say unasugua pia makalio, unasugua miguu, you avoid the genital area in the middle of the back. You know, I've seen you doing this to somebody in your sanitarium. That's what you want to do. Fingertips. So anyway, shida inakwanga wamama wanafanyanga hizi vitu too much, but they are just right. Brush down the chest, down the colon, and reach. So that is just a way that you're going to follow. We don't want to do it haphazardly. Let's go down. I mean, they're allowed to review this. Wanafaa kusugia hata matiti. It helps to guard against lumps, but avoid nipples, covering them with fingertips. Basically, you walk toward the heart and then bring all toxins toward the colon. Why do you take them towards the heart? Because the heart is responsible for circulating all those toxins. Then they're filtered through the lymphatic system and then deposited at the colon area. So the face should never be brushed, but we do wet exfoliation. You know, they are called hair follicles, removing them from the root of dead hair cells. So exfoliation is good, but make it wet. It's not dry. You can use a lotion that has oatmeal and abrasive particles, rough particles like some sort of sand or azuki beans or silica gels or pumice. One treatment a day is quite enough for the face, preferably at the end of the day, to remove grime, grease, and other residues. So that's important. It's good, Enzo. This sponge, so many in Africa, it comes from a tree. Use a a sponge in the shower. You notice that Africans are never wrong. Facial massage brings in blood flow, tonicity of the facial muscles, and it also produces, what does it produce? Absorption of healthy creams, huh? And, you know, you need to know that those muscles need exercise. So, cucumbers are very good for the face. Put them in the refrigerator overnight and place them over your face in the morning for 30 minutes, and then you wash off. Yeah. How many of those slides do we got left, brother? Yeah, we can't be through with them today, right? We'll finish. So I'll give us example of facial skin types. It's not part of the slides in closing. A normal skin type has a blushed color and it looks like the skin of a healthy child. As a matter of fact, when you read in Psalms and in when you have a skin as a child, you call it baby-faced, but no, you're not a baby-faced. Listen to Psalms. Psalms 103 and verses number, my goodness, which verse am I looking for here? 103 Psalm, my goodness, where is this verse? Okay, I'm not going to read Psalms, honestly. I'm going to have to read from the book of Job, the book of Job, chapter 33. An evidence that you're healing is when your skin is as a child. From 2 Kings chapter 5, we know that Naaman's skin became as a child. It was that flawless after he was dipped into the water 7 times. And then through that kind of water treatment, he all of a sudden had a skin that was not leprous, but was more or less like a child. But now in chapter 33 of the book of Job, verses 24 and 25, here the Bible tells us that then he is gracious unto him and says, deliver him from going down to the pit. I have found a ransom. Found a ransom. His flesh shall be fresher than a child's. He shall return to the days of his youth. So the skin, the flesh, is like a baby. That's why the Bible says a blushed skin is like a child. It shows health. You remember Daniel and his 3 Hebrew friends, after 10 days of being tested on vegetables and water, they had some of the best skin types. So the best skin care is vegetarianism. Dry skin lacks elasticity. The sebaceous glands produce little sebum that predisposes the individual to wrinkles. And dry skin could be due to nutritional deficiencies or a smoking habit. Oily skin is shiny and so sticky. The sebaceous glands are hyperactive, giving us excess sebum, which would otherwise endanger us to acne, pimples, or blackheads. Oily skin is associated with hereditary factors also like hormonal imbalances, as those occurring in adolescence, obesity, or a diet in meat excessively, in fat, in certain types of fish or milk products. And a combination of dry and oily skin slightly are oily on the forehead, nose, chin, and somewhat dry on a dispersible pattern throughout the body. And so you realize that this is a very wide topic, skincare, and we'll see if we'll go through all of these things. Thank you, Denzel. Any question before we can call it a day? Brenda Luvai, what about vitamin C moisturizers for the face? Vitamin C is a good acid, and sometimes we need vitamin C, you know, to fight bacteria on the skin. So when you got an infected skin, then you might need vitamin C. Yeah. That's it for today.
Maybe I can say hi to you, Max.
Hi, brother.
Yeah, David Wangunyo from Ruma.
Karibu sana Daudi.
Asante.
Na usiwahi potea tena.
Sitapotea.
Barikiwa.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, you said that it's not good to use Vaseline. It's a petroleum and the ngombe.
That's not what I said. Eh?
Mm.
I said it's okay.
So it's okay to